Recognize my colleague from Florida, Mr. Haridopolos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is not really this is just a request, if you could. I know there's been some discussion about some of these programs. I know that the Administrator, Mr. Zeldin, has done a great job of looking at how some of the past dollars have been spent, especially in the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. I'd love to get a report to see how those dollars are being spent, and because there's a lot of concerns about were they truly merit-based, was there a conflict of interest, what oversight do we have, this maybe we can claw back some of those dollars if it's not effective science. So I'd love to get a report on that if I could. That'd be great.
I'll take that back to the agency.
Thank you so much. What I want to get into today, first I want to applaud my colleague from the other side of the aisle, Ms. Bonamici, for creating the Estuary Caucus with my colleague, Congressman Posey. You all have done remarkable work. Thank you so much for working in a bipartisan fashion on that issue. In my community, the Inner Lagoon is an absolute national treasure. And we're doing everything we can to kind of clean up that lagoon with not only federal dollars, record numbers this past year with the help of all of Congress and, of course, the President, but also looking at new ways in which to solve problems. So as we look at that issue with water quality, estuaries in general, and try to stop algae blooms, what research are we doing today to try to move those issues forward and making sure that a lot of those research dollars become shovel-ready projects?
Excuse me. Again, as I had mentioned in the testimony, that we're going through the research planning process, and so that's been an effort to make sure that the research dollars, the science and technology dollars that we've received as an agency are used in the most efficient way in addressing the needs of the agency and of our stakeholders. So we work very closely with other federal agencies as well to make sure that we're leveraging resources where we need to. Some of the harmful algal blooms work that we're doing is in conjunction with NASA and NOAA and other federal agencies. So as we develop our research portfolio, we're updating the one, every few years. We usually update it every 4 years or so. This one we are updating, and as we develop that and determine what the research products will be under these research areas, that will be how we will track the work that we're doing and how the funding that we received in those particular areas and those program areas will be used appropriately.
Thank you. And the second question I want to get to is the emergence of new technologies. As you know, the area, again, as I mentioned, the Inner Lagoon is so vital to our community. We have a lot of dredging projects going on, and that's scooping up the bad stuff and put it on the side. But unfortunately, as you know, they continue to make their way into the waterways. We're moving away from septic systems, moving to sewer systems, which are, again, helping our waterways. But one of the new technologies that's actually being tried on a privately funded pilot in my home community of Titusville is dealing with nanotechnology. This is what's called nanotechnology, or nanobubble technology. You raise the oxygen levels in order to break down organic pollution and to see if that might be another way in which to solve the problem as opposed to just digging it out over and over, which is almost an endless process as you consider the size of Lagoon. I'd really like to see if the EPA be willing to work with these different groups as they find this technology, because we want to have the experts look at this. You all know not just my area in Florida, but around the country as the Estuary Caucus looks at all these challenges. We've seen some successes, if the other side doesn't know, on lakes. The river issues are a little more challenging, as you can imagine, with some of these pollutants that get into the bottom of the river. But I'd really like to see, if I could, Mr. Chairman, take a look at some of these new technologies, because dredging is very expensive and is like almost a never-ending process. And this type of technology has shown a lot of promise. I'm really impressed that they actually provided some local private dollars to see if this might work, and we're working with our communities. But that would be a welcome opportunity for you, if you would mind looking at that nanotechnology. And I don't know if you have any comments on that technology, if you've seen something that in the past.
We do have a robust portfolio on harmful algal blooms. This technology in particular is not one that I'm familiar with, but I understand and familiar with the problem that you're talking about and that you're seeing in your in Titusville. This is something, the work that we're doing is, as I had mentioned previously, is on health effects, on bloom forecasting, but also in managing harmful algal blooms in the natural and built environment. We'd be happy to work with you and have a conversation about these new technologies and see if there's anything that we can further discuss.
That would be our pleasure, and very much appreciated. Again, we're just trying to solve a problem. We put a lot of local dollars in. We actually taxed ourselves to put more resources towards the lagoon, and it's important. And Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity to be a part of this today. And again, I applaud the bipartisan nature in which the Estuary Caucus has been working and looking for solutions and not playing politics. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlemen,